Hi guys, this is Coach Michelle, and today I wanted to run you through about a 20-minute follow along workout that I like to do when I don't have a lot of time. I don't feel like going to the gym, but I'm at my house and I have equipment that I can use. So I have a stopwatch, but you can use your phone. I have a booty band, a yoga block, and my mat. I also have a chair, but you can also use a countertop, sink, whatever. And then I have some type of holding device or a stick. I'm just using the broom because some of the work is best done with some kind of support. And so I like to set up my stuff just around my area so that when I'm ready to use it, I can grab it. One thing I would suggest if you're having knee issues is to get yourself knee pads. I have those as well, but I'm working on a pretty nice soft padding here, and so my knees are pretty supported. You can also fold up a yoga mat. You can also put like extra pillows. You can roll up towels, whatever you want to have to support your knees until they get used to being on the ground. Or if you have any kind of growths or any type of knee pain, it's good to have something under your knees. You can also use your yoga block for your seiza work. That way, if you're not able to get all the way down quite yet, then you can utilize the yoga block to assist. And you can also utilize multiple yoga blocks as well. So I want to get into some quick work that won't take you any time at all. So I want you to go ahead and get yourself set up. Stop the video if you need to. Find a nice resting position. I like to rest in seiza. You can also rest in half seiza, which is a comfortable position for me as well. Remember, you're actually sitting on your ankle. We're opening up the ankle, open up the hips when we sit like this. And so let's go ahead and get rested and get set up. All right, welcome back. So we're gonna do 2 minutes of everything, going all the way up to about 20 minutes of work. So you just follow along. Don't think about the time. I'll maintain the time and I will walk you through each step. All right. First things first is we're going to start with our forward fold decompression work. Now I call this decompression because it's decompressing the spine and it's opening up our hips and our feet and our ankles all at once. So remember, once you've been through a couple of recodes, or if you've heard my stuff a couple of times, you'll know what I mean. Pressurizing the feet, meaning you're pressing into the ground with your feet, the blades of your foot, the ball of your foot, meaning this part of your foot and this part of your foot. Then we're going to make sure that we're ripping the ground apart, which is pretending there's a piece of paper and we're ripping that piece of paper apart. That's going to take our legs from here to here. We're ripping apart at the hip area. Use your booty band for help in this area as well if you need it. Ripping apart and then pushing our hips back into the sky. Utilize stuff if you need it, assistance if you need it. If not, let's just follow through and you can go at my pace or at your own pace. 2 minutes. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Pressurizing the feet. Breathing. Don't forget to breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. When you breathe in, your stomach expands. When you breathe out, it hits your belly button to your spine and you zip up all the way from the low abs to the back to the top abs. Breathe in, find more length. Push hips back and up to the sky. As you're pushing your hips back and up to the sky, you're ripping apart the floor. You're also trying to get length in these hamstrings. If you feel the shakes, that's okay. That just means your central nervous system is working. We're also looking at lengthening our neck. Breathe in. Belly button goes to the spine. Bring all the pieces together. Good job, guys. About a minute more to go. Keep trying to rip that piece of paper apart. Keep those feet, no flat tires, meaning those arches are staying high. Those inside ankle bones are staying high. We're not letting them drop. Remember, we want to keep the inside ankle bones high. We don't want them to drop in. We're not forcing the shape. The shape happens from the hip joint. A little shaky because I haven't done this in a few days. You want to do this work, I would say every day if you can. All right, 15 more seconds. We're going to start with this and we're going to finish with this. Good job. 5. Keep ripping. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, take a rest. Reset your watch. Now we're going to go into our rocker. So get your knee pads if you need it. If not, we're going to get right into it. No stopping. I'm going to do toe tucked rockers. You could have feet flat rockers, your choice. 2 minutes. I'm going to start with a device to really feel that back strain. Remember, we're pressing our balls of our feet and our knees are ripping the ground apart. We're ripping that floor apart. We're pushing back and up to the sky for 2 minutes at your own pace. Breathe in, stomach expands. Breathe out. Belly button goes to the spine. And we're zippering up from our lower abs all the way up to our top abs. When we breathe out, stomach expands. And when we breathe out, we zip all the way up. Low abs. Zip, 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 zip. Zip all the way up. Transverse abdominis wraps around. This is what it looks like. Flat feet. We're at 1 minute. Feet flat in the ground. I'm pressing my tops of my feet, my shins into the ground. I'm pushing my hips back and up to the sky. Activation is happening in the hips and the glute area and the hamstrings. I can utilize my yoga block, and I'm ripping apart the piece of paper in between my legs, keeping my neck and spine neutral, tucking my chin slightly so that I get a nice stretch in my neck. Okay, we want a nice stretch of the neck. We don't want our neck up like this. Tuck the chin ever so slightly. 15 seconds. You're doing really, really good, everybody. Stick with it. Here we go. Breathe through it. 2, 1, stop. Take a break. Shake it off. Rocker kickouts. Here we go. So we're getting upon our 6-minute mark, everybody. You're doing really good. Same motion as our rockers, but now we're just kicking our feet right to left laterally as we rock forward. Rock back, feel glute, rock forward. We're going to kick out. We may feel a little bit in our hip flexors, but we shouldn't feel any kind of pinching whatsoever. Pinching is not what we want. Tuck that tailbone under just a little bit if you need to, so you're not feeling any pinching. Also utilize assistance when you do this. This is working on our cornering action, or instead of our landing or leaving action in our walk run. If your knees are able to take it, you can actually bring your legs up off the mat. Doesn't matter how small of a movement. Remember, we want to feel everything in our glutes, in our hamstrings. That's what we're working. Remember to keep that back, nice slight curvature in the low back. You may be feeling your back light up a little bit. You can always slight pelvic tilt toward the mat and still stick with the same motion. Be kicking those legs out so we can get the motion in our hip flexors. Because for our next moves, we want to work on being able to corner in the squinge. There we go. Good job, guys. Just so you see what it looks like behind, we're about 20 more seconds. Back. Big toes come together, kicks out. This is what it looks like when you hold. Good job. 2 seconds, 1 second, stop. Good job, that's 6 minutes. Here we go. Okay, next one, we're coming up on our feet. Oh, let me shake it off a little bit. That's actually harder than it looks. All right, let's stay on the ground. We're gonna do our pigeon work a little bit. I need to get our left and our right side to really feel that glute action. So we're gonna go 2 minutes into our pigeon. Left leg down first, right leg. So we're gonna reach back with our glute and our hip. We're gonna find that glute tightness there. Yeah, right there. Just in our glute and our hips, right here. And we're just gonna rock ever so slightly, bringing that left hand up to your chest, keeping that head over that left leg. And we're gonna just rock it out. I'll let you know when we're close. Rock it out, continue to feel, hold if you need to make sure you're filling in the glute and the hamstring. You may feel a little bit in the quad, but that's secondary muscle action. You will work a little bit in your quad, but that should not be the primary fire point. Okay, so it looks like this way. Your left foot is driving into the ground where you should be able to lift up your left hand and your right foot. And we're just gonna drive the knee and the chin. The left knee, left shin goes into the ground, and we're pushing that hip back. Head stays over, head and chest, sternum over the left leg. We're not way out here. We're staying in our columns, pressing back. Right leg is either elevated or sliding on the mat. All right, let's go. Good job, guys. Let's switch it up. Take a little pass there. All right. Sometimes I don't know how to work a stopwatch. Okay, right leg. Let's go. 2 minutes. It's going to our 8-minute period. Again, right leg, right knee, right shin, right top of foot digs, presses into the mat. Left leg internally rotates across to that right ankle area, and we're feeling the glute on the right hand side. Again, if I'm turning this way, right leg, left leg internally rotates. I'm staying strong, bringing that right hand off the mat if I can, finding the right glute, right hamstring. If I need to slight pelvic tilt, I can. We're gonna either elevate this left leg or let it glide on the ground. We're just gonna rock back in this, feeling this, working just a single leg motion. We're just gonna stay here for the 2 minutes. Okay, so it looks like that way. 1 more minute left, go. You're doing good. You could take that left foot out to about, I don't know, not 12 o'clock, but maybe 1 o'clock. Sometimes the clock's weird. Take it out to where you feel comfortable. You'll feel the difference. You'll either be feeling a tightness in your hip. You don't want that. So you're gonna work that leg, 22-degree angle. As you can see here, 22-degree angle. The left leg, left knee is elevated, internally rotated. The knee is hugging the right side. I'm taking my right hand off. We're here, guys. We're doing right 15 more seconds on this right hand side. Then we're gonna go into pigeon holds for a minute on each side. You can do it. Stay here, guys. Stay here. Hold if you need to. Again, press into the ground. That right foot, right shin, right knee, back. Good job. Rest. Shake it off. All right. All right, coming to that 10-minute mark. Here we go. Hold. Left leg, right leg internally rotates. The hip internally rotates. The right knee goes over the left ankle. Left hand comes off the mat, pulls up. Right hand, if you're able, grab a yoga mat. And all of our pressure is in our left hamstring, left hip, left glute. Our head is straight over our left leg, staying in our columns. we're taking that left elbow and driving it back to our left hip, filling the oblique and probably a little bit of your lats in the very, very back of your back working. Hold this if you can for the last 10 seconds. Take your right hand off. Breathe. Remember, all your power is in your glutes, hamstrings, and that left top of your foot. Good job. Switch. Right leg. It's warm out here, y'all, but I want to show you can do any of this stuff outside or inside. Right leg, left leg. Internally rotate that hip. Knee, left knee goes to the right ankle, outside right ankle. Whew, we're going to hold. Feel that glute. Bring that right hand up to your chest, armpit level. You're going to rotate slightly the chest and the head so that the head is over the right leg. And then we're going to elevate that left hand, try to bring it up to a yoga block. We're going to drive that right foot, right shin, and we're going to find our balance with our left leg. Find a place where you can hold yourself up and try to take your hand off for the last 15 seconds. We're going to hold. All of our power again is coming from our glute and our hip. Right oblique is getting some work. Right elbow is coming into our right hip. And we got 4. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe in. Breathing allows you to hold it longer. And we're done. Good job. Whew. All right, 10-minute mark. Now we're going to get into some standing work. We're going to first start with deep squats up into a squinge. So 2 minutes of deep squat into a hinge. So we're going to start in our deep squat position or our modified deep squat position. So this is modified deep squat. This is deep squat. Whatever you feel comfortable with. So we're already starting the clock. Deep squat. Just hold this here for a second. Hands are out in front of you, and you're going to reach your glutes and hips up and straight back to the sky. Pressurizing your feet, ripping apart the ground as you go up. Press, rip, push. Up. Neck elongates. Breathe in, rip apart the floor. Slowly come down. Hips go back first. Glutes go back. Your feet are pressing into the mat, the blades of your feet. You're utilizing the blades of the feet to bring you down. Again, up. Glutes go back. Back is straight. Pressing your feet into the ground, ripping it apart, rip it apart. Hips come apart at the top. Internally rotating the hips. Slowly getting into our squinges. So this is our high lows or deep squat to a squinge, meaning we're squinging at the top. We're actually going to do this for about 4 minutes. I want you to really take your time. We're already about 1:15. Slowly come down to a deep squat if you can, where your feet are all the way on the ground. Blades of your feet are there. I want you to rest here for a minute if you can. If not, rest here in the balls of your feet with your hands out in front of you. And then I want you to push with your balls of your feet into the ground and rip apart that piece of paper. So we push into the ground, balls of our feet. Now I'm going to rip and push my glutes and hips back behind me and my tailbone up to the sky. Push, rip, up to the sky. Internally rotate my hips. Allow my head to drop ever so slightly. Tilt my chin in toward my neck, just a tad, so that my neck gets to get stretched out. Squinging, coming back down. All the way down. Deep squat if you can. Back up. Good job. 2 more minutes. Just so you can kind of see what it looks like from the side. Make sure you guys can see this, okay? Mind you, I'm a little sweaty. This gets a little hot after a while. You can use a yoga block as well. If you can't get yourself all the way there, you can hold here, straight up. Good job. This is a good one. And when you're watching TV, you're out and about, you just want to stretch, you can do this with a countertop where you don't have to go all the way down. You can just go to here and just back and forth. All the action is happening in our hips. 3-minute mark. 1 more minute, y'all. You guys are doing really well. Remember to your feet into the ground, rip that piece of paper apart, internally rotate that femur bone in toward your inner thighs. Oh, yeah. Try to come down into a deep squat. Blades of the feet are on the ground. Heels are touching ever so slightly. Keeping that back straight. Chin is tucked ever just a little bit so that we're not forcing any shapes. Allowing the body to do it as it happens. Good. Keep going. 30 seconds. And then we only have 6 more minutes of work. You guys are doing amazing. Again, this is work you can do anywhere, anytime, slow as you want, as fast as you want. The whole point is really knowing where you're pressurizing the feet, pressurizing the hips. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can hold it down here. Good job, everybody. All right. Next, we're going to get into some hinge work. 2 minutes of hinges, one of my faves. Hinge, I would say start with a chair first, and then you can go into no chair. So I'm going to start with the chair first, just so you guys can kind of see it. And then I will take my hands off and we'll do assisted hinges, then unassisted hinges. But we'll do it in 2 minutes. Pressurize the feet, and all I'm doing is pressing my feet into the ground. The balls of my feet, blades of my foot are pressing. I'm tearing apart the piece of paper, and my hips and glutes are going straight back and up to the sky. Back is straight, neck is straight. Again, tilt the chin just a little bit. Breathe and hinge. While I'm doing this, I'm continuing to rip apart the ground with my feet. My toes are loose, but the balls of my feet, the blades of my foot are doing all the work, and I'm not squinging here. So my knees are slightly at a 22-degree angle out a little bit. But when I go all the way back and I internally rotate is when I get my knees to be straight. So in the hinge, it is okay if your knees are not perfectly straight in the hinge for this one, because I really want you to work on pressing into the ground and pushing the hips and the glutes back to the sky. And as you tear apart the paper with your feet and your hips, you'll see the knees naturally do it. So I'm just saying, if you don't have straight knees, don't get yourself beat up. The more you work on ripping apart the paper right to left, letting the energy really help you out here, you're going to be awesome. 30 more seconds, guys. Push those hips back and up to the sky. Remember, the hips are doing the work. Hips go back, pressurizing the feet. The feet are hard on the ground. We're pressing those feet into the ground. We're ripping apart the piece of paper with the blades of our feet. Push it up to the sky. Tailbone goes up to the sky. Yes, good job, you guys. I know you're working. Take your breaks when you need it. 3, 2, 1. Good job. Take a break. Shake it off. Four more minutes, y'all. So 2 minutes of squats. Same thing. This time we're just letting our knees naturally go out left and right just a little bit, keeping our back straight. Hips go back first, and then we go down. Hips go back, then knees. Hips go back, then knees. Pressurizing. Hips go back, then knees come down. Hip, knees, hip, knees, hip, knees, hip, knees, so that we're feeling it in our glutes and our hamstring. This one, your knees are definitely going to go left to right. Allow them to be free in here, but keep your feet straight. Toes are loose. Balls of your feet are pressuring into the ground with the blades of your feet. You can be on just the balls of your feet, so you can lift up a little bit. If you want to use support, you can. And we're just pulsing here. This is a great one. Like, my back will start to light up because those spinal erectors, which is the muscles on the right and left sides of your spine, really start to work. Now, if you just hold this here and rip apart the piece of paper, just hold in this squat pulse area. Let's just hold the last Oh yeah, I want you guys to hold this for 30 seconds. Press your feet into the ground. Rip apart the piece of paper. Continue to rip it apart and push the hips back and up to the sky and just hold this position. If your low back starts to light up, small pelvic tilt towards the ground, and you still hold it here. If anything starts to light up, listen to your body, adjust as needed, but feel where things hurt or where they're weak. Where they hurt, usually there's something going on there. So we need to pay attention to those things. We got 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good job, guys. All right, last thing, 2 minutes of folds. Forward fold, down again. Push the hips back and up to the sky. Allow your head to rest. Breathe in, stomach expands. Breathe out. Pressurize the feet, balls of the feet, blades of the feet. Pressed into the ground, ripping apart the piece of paper as best you can, and internally rotate those hips at the top. Just a little side so you can kind of see. Again, more one-on-one coaching is available, so I can kind of see what you guys are doing. If you need it, you know where to find me. You're doing great. We got a minute left, guys. 1 minute. Press into the ground with your balls of your feet, blades of your feet. Remember, your toes are loose. They're not squishing the ground. Pushing back and up, internally rotating the femur. Good job. Try to get more length in the hamstrings, which helps the back decompress, which helps the shoulders, mid-back, ankles, knee strength, all of it. You want length in the hammies. You do not want short muscles. You want long muscles so they're able to move easier without pain. Soreness is different than pain. 8 seconds. You guys are doing really good. And you could do this longer if you need to, but this is where we're at. So there's your quick 20-minute workout. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and stretch it out. It is a workout. It's also a nice way to decompress. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Deuces.